The main stars in Purva Bhadrapad are Markab and Sheet, which are Alpha and Beta in the Pegasus constellation. It spans from 20 degrees of the 11th sidereal Rashi to 3 degrees 20 minutes of the 12th, which currently corresponds to 14 degrees 6 minutes through 27 degrees 26 minutes of tropical Pisces. The Bhadrapada are a nakshatra pair, Purva and Uttara. To the Vedic eye, their stars depict the legs of a bed or a chair, which is why they're sometimes called Purva and Uttara Proshtapad. We've seen a bed before amongst the symbols of the nakshatra. We saw it in the Purva and Uttara Phalguni nakshatras. But with the Phalguni nakshatras, it's a love bed. Here in the Bhadrapada nakshatras, it's a deathbed. The word pada means segment, leg, or foot. And the word bhadra means ceremonial. Bhadra and bhadra are not the same. Bhadra means auspicious. If you modify the word bhadra to become bhadra, it means something which generates or is generated by auspiciousness. For example, like a ceremony. A ceremony is a result of auspiciousness and generates auspiciousness. So, Bhadrapada is the legs of a ceremonial entity, like an altar or a table or a bed, a ceremonial bed. So that's why it represents the legs of a deathbed, because it's the funeral ceremony. Ekapad might be one of the most obscure and unknown of the Vedic deities today. The Vedic Samhita almost always pair him with a twin god, Ahirbudnya, who is the god of the next nakshatra in this pair, Uttara Bhadrapada. The name Ekapad can mean a naga, because a naga is a dragon and a dragon is a divine serpent. Aja literally means something that doesn't have an origin, so it's used for things which are divine. And Ekapad literally means one-legged, so it's used for serpents. So Ekapad means a divine serpent or a naga, a dragon. Ekapad literally has to do with storms and the weather in the sky. Storms and lightning seem like they come from nowhere, they're without origin, and they travel very quickly even though they have no conventional locomotion, so they're Ekapad. The Samhitas and the Brahmanas describe Ekapad as the destructive power of the atmosphere. He brings lightning, fire, hurricanes, and floods. Ekapad is both Naga and Rudra. He's both a dragon and a stormy destroyer. Because Ekapad is a Naga, Purva Bhadrapad has to do with wealth and pleasure. But because Ekapad is a Rudra, Purva Bhadrapad has to do with destruction, anger, and disappointment. So put the two together. Now you know Purva Bhadrapad symbolizes being troubled by wealth and pleasure. What is trouble except an inspiration to improve? So Purva Bhadrapad symbolizes the inspiration to evolve our conception of wealth and pleasure to a less base, less mundane level. The word ceremonial of Bhadra is also important to understanding what Purva Bhadrapad symbolizes. Keep this idea ceremonial next to the idea that it's an ugra, a fierce, very strong nakshatra. And so you'll understand that Purva Bhadrapada symbolizes being hypocritically strict, harsh, bold, unforgiving, and a bit pompous. Purva Bhadrapada has a malefic nature, so malefic planets do well and benefics don't. Of all the malefics, Saturn is especially at home in Purva Bhadrapada because it symbolizes really strong analytical criticism of superficial conceptions of pleasure and wealth. And that leads to remarkable personal strength, self-discipline, detachment, and very rational intellect. The other malefics have similar good results, but they have a few flaws. The Sun here will have a flaw of difficulty with authority figures, and Mars here will have the flaw of difficulty controlling anger. The benefics don't do as well in Purva Bhadrapada, but Jupiter does the best of them because it symbolizes, through trial and error, eventually gaining wisdom about what real pleasure and wealth is. Mercury mostly symbolizes a problem talking and being friendly, and that without being harsh. Venus is the most strongly impacted by Purva Bhadrapada, signifies romantic hardships and a very significant need to evolve beyond superficial conceptions of love. This can be very complicated to interpret because it coincides with Venus's exaltation in Pisces, which can make it quite profound. Rahu in Purva Bhadrapada is very outstanding. It signifies an extremely powerful critic who's willing and able to tear down any adversary, but who's going to find the most difficult adversary to be your own self-control. Ketu in Purva Bhadrapada is also very profound, and it signifies a very, very deep non-materialism. This can be very depressing or bitter tasting, but it's the key to unlocking the doors of mystic and spiritual experience.